Now, we're hearing from the family of the man killed by ICE agents in Maine earlier this week. 25-year-old Joan Guerrero, a Colombian national, was fatally shot while in his car Monday. The DHS says ICE was conducting an operation, but local law enforcement told reporters Guerrero was not the intended target. Through a translator, his wife said her husband was a hardworking man who loved his family.
My daughter asked for Papa, and I don't have the strength to tell her that Papa isn't coming. My soul is broken. He was everything to me. He never let me worry about anything. I feel so unprotected.
Following this shooting and another one in Texas, DHS announced all the ICE teams will now carry at least one body camera. ICE had also paused traffic stops after these shootings, but has since been ordered to resume them. Now, this week's deadly ICE shooting emerged as a key issue in last night's debate between Senate candidates running for the Democratic nomination there in Maine. And all of the contenders sharply criticized the agency.
When I say we have to abolish it, what I mean is that we need a new law enforcement agency that has the trust of the people.
I remember a day when the thugs weren't in the government and they didn't have arms.
They need to be dismantled because they give us nothing in this country but heartache and racism.
I don't think this agency can be reformed. The rot has gone to the core, and that's why we must abolish it.
CBS News national correspondent Lilia Luciano joins us now from Biddeford, Maine, next to that growing memorial for the man killed on Monday. Good morning, Lilia. This issue seems to have risen to the top politically there. Is it the deciding issue, though, for voters and politicians?
Well, Errol, as you said, this memorial has been growing. I mean, I'm just looking at it. It's 3 times longer than it was, wider than it was just a couple of days ago. This shooting happened on Monday. It was in between Graham Platner stepping out of the race and, of course, this debate. And we're just days away from Democratic delegates to choose who's going to be his replacement. It certainly was a focal point. From their opening remarks, the candidates were all talking about how this community, how Maine has been impacted by ICE. Most of them called for the abolishing of ICE, if not a very serious reform of ICE, banning masks, wearing those body cameras that have been budgeted for and have been paid for. They sent their condolences to Carolina Rojas, his partner, Guerrero's partner. They spoke about his young daughter, and they talked about how he was the wrong target. But there were certainly many other issues, most of which Graham Platner had supported, that were discussed on that debate stage. I just want to play a little clip and expand on it a little bit further.
Graham talked about is something that I've been fighting for since I got into politics. Healthcare, Medicare for all.
There are a lot of areas where Graham's policies and mine overlap. One that I think is particularly relevant this week is the need to finally abolish ICE.
Graham got into this race saying this is genocide, and I learned that it is so important in these moments to draw those moral lines.
He's right. The democracy that we thought we had has been deeply corrupted by those in power in Washington, the billionaires and the massive corporations.
Some of the other issues included reforming the Supreme Court. They talked about implementing a wealth tax. Of course, reproductive rights was also an issue that was widely discussed among all 8 of the contenders there. But one thing that I found interesting is, of course, when you're watching a debate, you're used to seeing the candidates throwing punches at each other. They did none of that. They, in fact, agreed with each other. You could see them just agreeing with the policy that the previous person mentioned, and even sometimes adding to the different points that were discussed. The target of this debate was Susan Collins. They, of course, could not distance themselves too much from Graham Platner because he did win the primary, after all, of course, not on the controversies, but on the issues. But it was Susan Collins, her voting record, her siding with the Trump administration. They said not standing up to the Trump administration enough, that were the targets of what they were discussing and what they would do if they made it to the Senate.
Incredible to see how this is playing out in Maine and the potential national implications. Lilia Luciano live for us there in Biddeford. Lilia, thanks.